Welcome to the Spalding Brothers Show with myself, Weston Spalding, my twin brother, Wyatt Spalding, where we talk about life, sports, fitness, nutrition, mentality, and whatever else we feel like talking about. Today, we're just gonna pretty much do not a structured talk, just random talk. Wyatt's gonna talk about his tournament that he just did in Virginia. Went to the Xperience Tournament, which is basically like the top 25 to 32 Special Olympic tennis athletes all go to, is it Charlotte's?
Yeah,
What's
Charlottesville, Virginia.
Charlottesville, Virginia? They do a little pool play. They get broken up into four divisions. So there's the top eight, the second top eight, third top eight, fourth top eight, and then they do pool play kind of like in that actually. So there's a little is it a four team pool play
Yeah,
or four
so
person?
yep.
Yeah.
So like in our last episode, which was just me, I talked about the tournament a little bit and
Hmm.
like mindset you should have and how you experience a lot more failure in this tournament than success, but it's kind of a good thing because you learn like, if you want to reach the top, whether it's sports or business or whatever, you're probably gonna fail like way more than you succeed.
Yeah.
But that one moment of success is like totally worth it. And
Yeah.
so last year I was in the bracket 3B and I won it, which was kind of weird because we had an odd number. So we all beat each other. So they had to add up like the total amount of games you had won,
Hmm.
which I didn't feel great about because I only won like one match. So I didn't feel like I deserved it. But it was like, well, I played bad and still won.
Yeah.
And so, but then this year I played in 3B again and I played harder people.
And real quick, so like you're put into pool play, and
Yeah.
after pool play, they put you in like 3A or 3B. So they kind of
Yeah.
put you like, and you're
It's like a,
usually the third top eight. So you're like from the 17th to, what would that be? 24th
yeah.
best person. Yeah.
Yeah. This year was like a lot less people. Not a lot, but maybe like seven, six, between six or eight people didn't show because
Yeah.
it was like right around New Year's.
Hmm.
So, which made sense. So, like 3B was like the lowest division, but like really it's 4A, then 4B.
Yeah.
And so, but I played like pretty hard competition. My first match, I played this girl from Wisconsin. She was like one of the hardest hitters I'd ever played.
Yeah.
She went up from 3A to 2A and like
That
beat,
happens to you like more often than usual. Like they always, new person comes in, they kind of have them play you, and then they can determine where they're at. Because you can hang with those top guys,
yeah.
but like your physical disability puts you at more advantage just because there's not as many physical disabilities out there. It's more like intellectual, cognitive.
Yeah. So um I played her and she's super nice and we were like hitting the ball really hard back and forth. And
Yeah.
she was just like a backboard. And I like was kind of trying to slice her. My serve worked in the second set. So we play like short sets, which I think I explained in the last episode. I can't remember. But basically you play to four games. You can win 4-3. If you win, if you win one set, the other person wins the next set, then you play a 10-point tiebreaker.
Hmm.
And I lost the first set like 4-0. And then I won and I lost the second set 4-2. I was pretty calm in that match because like the clinic we have the day before with the Virginia tennis team, which they're really good. They're ranked nationally. She was in my group, and you knew she was new because there's only like two or three women there total.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy crap, like she hit the ball, the crap out of the ball. And so I knew it was going to be pretty tough. And so I lost to her, but she only lost four games total the entire tournament. And so I was like one of the only ones that won any games off her. So that was like, and it was to the point where like, so we played deuce, and then like next point wins is no ad, and it was 2-3, and it was deuce, and I had to do a slice backhand because if I hit it baseline, she was just gonna return it. So I sliced it and I missed it by like inches. Otherwise, I would have won and gone 3-3.
Oh my gosh. That's like
And
the hard thing about tennis is you could lose, I mean, you could lose 6-1. So for those of you who don't know tennis, you play a set, and a set is 6 games. So first person to win 6 games wins. But out of all those, let's say you lost 6 games to 1 game, you could go on a deuce with every single game, but then it's just like 1 point. You just didn't like win the right points at the right time.
yeah, because you can last a long time with ad. Ad
Yeah.
really keeps you in it. And like I had to do it. It was a tough shot. I was like on the run, probably well, I had control of the racket, but I didn't have much room to get in, but I had to slice it because it's the only way to like win the point.
Yeah.
And so, and I was getting there, like bringing her to the net. So I was pretty happy about that. I stayed pretty calm the first set. And like I said in the last episode, like I'm either going to learn to stay calm and figure it out, or I'm going to like, you can't just like panic and stuff. And I said in the last episode, like it's easier said than done. And I'll get more into that in a little bit. But so I lost that set or match. Then the second set or match, I mean, the the second match, I played this guy from North Carolina, and I lost to him in a third set tiebreaker. I think I lost the first set 4-3. Then I won the second set 4-3. And then I lost the tiebreaker 8-10. And I was like down. What was I down? It was
Yeah,
down.
you always like to get down early, and then you're like, I'm gonna
I know
come
I
back.
don't win the first set a lot, it seems like, which is maybe a problem, but
Yeah.
uh
Something you might want to work on. Wyatt getting
yeah.
everybody heart attacks in the stands.
I sorry, I gotta figure them out, you know. It's like you gotta figure out like, all right, what's gonna work, what's not gonna work, you know. And then like what else? Oh yeah, so the second match, and I'd played this guy before, like I think it was your first year you game. I played this guy in a tiebreaker in the pool play, and I lost him that year too.
What was his name?
Kevin.
Yeah, I remember Kevin. Well, I
Yeah.
remember when this was like 4 or 5 years ago. A weird thing was they had like a dinner for us, and it was a really dark room. And then we took you into the courts, and the courts are super bright, and it messed with your eyesight. You're like, dude, I can hardly like see right now,
Yeah, I
and
like couldn't
you can't
focus.
see in the first place, so that didn't like help at all.
Yeah, it was weird, but I also just didn't play good that match. But
Yeah,
uh yeah, and then like uh and the girl I played was Lily. She was Wisconsin. She was good.
yeah,
So then I played Kevin. I think I was down like I think it was 9-5 or 9-6. So I was like coming back. And I like just like went for this down the line shot. Should have went across court, but I tried to go down the line and I missed it. And I
dang.
lost. And then so I'm like going to so then I play this guy Josh from Illinois, and I'd beat him before, but like first time I ever played him, his first year, I beat him pretty good, like 6-3, 6-3, something like that.
Mm.
Then I barely beat him last time, like I think yeah, I didn't play him last year, so 2 years ago. And I beat him in tiebreaker. So then I go to another tiebreaker with him, and the set score was like four. I won the first set 4-3, lost the second set 4-2. And then the tiebreaker, I had pretty good control. Like I think it was back and forth, but like I felt pretty confident, and like I was super sore at this point. Like I'm just like you just gotta keep digging. Like start digging. When I get in the hole, lose the first set. I'm just like, all right, it's time to
All
dig.
right. When you dig, like you're in the match, you're down, whatever. How are you? Like, what are you thinking about when you're like,
Thinking
say you
about
got a dig?
when I like when I didn't use this totally throughout the tournament, but I did it like with my matches outside, especially because I played in the summer. But like, I'm just like, I'm ready to play 3 sets. Like, I'm just prepared to like whatever the amount of sets is. Like, oh, I'm just gonna play that. Like, you
You're
think like
ready to go the distance.
I'm just gonna be out here for a while.
You're kind of
And
like a
so,
cat that's
yeah,
torturing a mouse, but you let if a mouse could beat up a cat, it's like you would let that happen to
yeah,
think that they're because every time I call you and you tell me about your matches, you're like, yeah, I got down the first set and then I barely won the second set, but I was also down in that one too. And then I was in the tiebreaker and then I was down and then I and it kind of helps when you play uh in Nebraska because usually like your skill level, you're playing like guys that are maybe 10, 15 years older than you. So you
Yeah.
have like the stamina on them. And even
Yeah.
in this tournament, I've seen you do it like where it's like, hey, you're willing to fight through that third set fatigue. Um, but sometimes like, yeah, you'll kind of probably get into it on the second day.
Yeah. And so like I was super tired and like we were the last match. Nobody was there anymore. There were a
Oh my
couple people
goodness.
watching us and
Yeah. Wait, a bunch of people or there weren't a lot of people?
there was like nobody there like playing. We
Oh,
were the
okay.
only match going on. It was like super quiet and intense. And
Yeah.
and what's cool is like the top level, like 2A or 1A, 1B is kind of like there's still really good people, but some of the people that used to be in it, like either couldn't come this year or just don't come as much anymore. But like that 2B to 3B range, like everyone's gotten like so much better.
Yeah.
And just like so like me and this guy Josh were like super even. And so I ended up winning like that tiebreaker like 10-7. And I was up like guy was up 9-4. So I blew like two set points, but I was like pretty calm, like all right, I got this, like no
Hmm.
problem. And so uh I won that. And then the next day, you're super sore. I didn't sleep very well because you never do, because like you're just so sore. And I was
Hmm.
like, I hate like saying this, but like dad would say, like, you have a physical disability, so you probably are more sore than everybody, which I don't like to use as an excuse why I don't win or whatever. But it's like, I mean, he's right. But still, I like it's not an excuse not to play good. So then the next day, and I played this guy Don from Virginia, and he's like in his 60s. He's been going to the tournament ever since. He used to play in like that top division.
He's
And
an
I played him.
OG.
What?
He's an OG.
Yeah, he is. And so like I played him, and the year before, he's my first match, and I lost like 3-4, 3-4 against him. I
Yeah.
knew like, oh, if I shot here, or if I had a little bit longer, I could beat him. And on the tournament day, so the second day of your play, you play just regular tennis, the 6 games, win by two, tiebreaker, 7 points. You split sets, you go to a 10-point tiebreaker. And so I played him, and I really wanted to beat him. And there's always like that one person like, oh, you had him last year, but you didn't get it. So you hope you play him again. He was kind of the person. He's
Yeah.
really good. And so I beat him. I lost the first set, 6-3. I was pretty mad about it. Like I kind of was like losing my mental focus the second day. And then I like kind of buckled down and like won the second set. And then I won the tiebreaker like 10-7, I think, or no, 10-6. And like I got him on my serve. I realized like he had trouble with my serve on his forehand. So then I kind of picked on that, and it was a pretty good match. But yeah, I was pretty happy about that. So then I go to the finals, and I don't know, like I took it seriously, but like that one year of the first year I played in the finals and like the 4A bracket, I played Matt.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, this is the finals. I gotta win this. And I didn't play very good. Like I lost like 6-4, 6-1 or whatever. So
Yeah.
I didn't like try to do that. Like I just tried to play like every match as the finals. Because
Yeah.
like I try to focus more on my record than if I could get first. Like you go 2-3, 3-2, it's pretty good. And so, but I played this dude, Justin, from like I think it's North Carolina. He was Wake Forest guy. He always has Wake Forest stuff on. And he has the tricky thing about him was he does two backhands. He just backhand each way. And so
No way.
yeah. And
That's
so
crazy.
but then my serve, oh, this is a match like I mentally broke down
Yeah.
because like yeah, it was the finals, but it was more of like he was getting my serve. Like if I sliced it, he just could set up and nail it. And
Yeah.
then like I couldn't like get my serve down the way I wanted. And it feels real good in practice, but even when you are losing a match, you're still tight because you're
Hmm.
playing a match, it's a tournament, you know. And so uh I just was frustrated, and I lost the first set and I was pissed, and dad like got mad at me a little bit, which dad always gets mad at me at
What'd he
some point.
say?
he's like, you gotta like keep your head and you can't talk like I talk kind of negative sometimes.
What do you
Like,
say when you talk negative?
oh, I suck. Why'd you effing do that? That was dumbass. You
Yeah.
know, I say all that stuff, but I know I'm not that stuff, but I just get so mad.
Yeah, you
And
get so
so
pissed. You're like, why did I do that? You're like,
yeah, it's like,
yeah.
and then like dad was giving me suggestions, but it wasn't working. So I was mad at like both of us because I couldn't figure it out. But then that's the thing is like I would win on his serve. Whoever was serving lost.
Which is, for those of you who don't know tennis, that's like, doesn't happen. Usually it's so super hard to win when somebody else is serving.
Yeah. And so like uh I lost the first set 6-4. And then like I was getting mad in the second set. And that's when dad kind of got mad at me because I was doing negative. So I was down 5-1. And then I started coming back and he like blew a couple points and was getting nervous. So then I jumped on that and it's 4-5 deuce and I serve it and he like rips one and I go left my forehand and I was short by like 2 steps.
Oh,
And I lost the in the finals.
dang
He was
it.
like super excited and everything and like I was like bummed, but like I mean I was bummed about the finals because like man I won the this bracket the year before, which is kind of like I mean, what's it called? Losers bracket. Like, I mean, 3B. Like we were all like 1 and 2 maybe in our pool play, but still, like I don't try to think about that because like, first place is first place. Just don't think about like what bracket you're in because you told me that one year. I was
Yeah.
concerned about what bracket I'm in. So I won 3B the year before, and I didn't win it this year. But Dad was making a point like, yeah, you played tougher. I mean, you played some pretty tough competition, maybe even tougher than last year. And
Yeah.
so, and I got second still. So,
And
but
you lost one match by 2 points.
yeah,
And then you that match in the finals, so 6-4 is basically like if you would have just won, that would have been 5-5. And do you guys play a seven then, or do you play a six still and then go with tiebreaker?
yeah. If it was 5-5, you play to seven,
Yeah.
or if it gets 6-6, then you go to tiebreaker. It's just like regular tennis.
Yeah. And like all
So,
these, you're like literally 1 point away from pushing to a possible like 7 games or tiebreaker, or it's like you're like 1 point away from like winning, which is crazy. But why do you get down 5-1? Like that's an insane. So you won, yeah, you won 3 games in a row, which is
yeah,
nice you do. Like what is like, I don't know, what do you think is your,
I think
I'm
I
just
like.
gonna say, what's your problem, dude? Why can't you like come out and just be up 4-0?
I think too, like you just mentally, like I think I get flustered, or like I'm just trying to figure out the pace
Oh,
of
okay.
how they hit, or how I'm gonna do this, and then like just trying to figure it out, like how you're gonna beat them. Because there's some people you can play like I've had some matches, and this isn't just Virginia, it's just matches in general, where it's like all I gotta do is keep it in, because this person is not as consistent as me. And then
Yeah.
matches like, all right, I gotta run them. That was the other thing. Dad was telling me to run them, and I told him to stop telling me that because if I think about it, I can't do it because I'm too focused. And I probably didn't run them as much. But I had some good shots. And Dad also made a good point. Like I played better the first day than the second day, which I
Yeah.
think is just like part of playing in a tournament. There's always one day you play amazing, and the next day you play good, but not as good as you thought you were because you played so good the first day. Or it could be vice versa. You could play bad in pool play and play really good
Yeah.
in the tournament. But I think that was a problem too. And but my on the upside though, like my backhand was like as good as it ever been. Like
Nice.
I was just like I never ever hit a two-hander. I was just doing one-handers all the time. And
Roger Federer. Doesn't Federer do a
like
one-hand backhand?
what? Yeah,
Doesn't
Roger
Federer do a
Federer does
one-hand
one.
backhand?
And
Yeah.
like I watched a lot of his stuff. Like you gave me that talent code book that I never finished because it was kind of hard for me to understand. But
Yeah.
like the one thing I remember is like this person watched like Roger Federer like every day, like emulated it. So I just started watching like videos of Roger Federer and stuff and Carlos Alcaraz and all of that.
Yeah,
And
it's called the mirroring effect. So when you
yeah,
watch this could be sports or when you have a conversation with somebody, you can watch somebody and then your neurons will start mirroring what they do. Uh, 'Cause I used to do the same thing in basketball. I used to watch Ray Allen all the time, and then in my head, I was shooting like Ray Allen. My form looked nothing like Ray Allen's, but he had
Right.
like the perfect like form. So I'm assuming that's what you do with like Federer and who else were you saying you watched?
Probably Carlos Alcaraz.
Oh yeah, I could see you like that.
See, or like
Trying to think who else you would be like.
I like Jimmy Connors because of like not really the strokes. I mean, I watched him with his backhand, and Jimmy Connors is like this really good player back in like the 70s,
Yeah.
late 80s. But he was always he would get the crowd into it and do some antics that were kind of not great, but he always had energy. Like you were never out of a match against him. Like even if you thought it was over, he would always come back. Like that's basically me. Like people were like you're never out of someone kind of said it in a way like, people play you and they said a term like they're never really out of it because you always kind of find a way to come back. So I
Mm,
try to like when I'm running, try to picture like I'm Jimmy Connors trying to come back in a match and I'm not out of it. I get the crowd into it by just like trying to recover shots. And what I really like people say is like I've gotten faster. At least people think I have, and I think I have. Like I've covered more ground, and so that's always pretty nice. And like I think it was my third match, so my last pool play match. Like my back shoulder muscle was getting so sore, like I could feel it. And I was just like, probably because I don't even do a two-hander. I'm just doing everything with my left, and I'm
yeah,
just like so sore.
that's
And,
crazy.
but then like you literally like if you like go for something and you work towards something, whether it's sports or work, like you really like, push your body to the limit, which I do in this tournament, because then I got home and then like 2 days after, so the Monday, I like ran a 100-degree fever. And I was just like, I think I'm just like worn down. And
Yeah,
so,
I think it's an intense because remember I was coaching you or I came with you one year. Literally, the moment you stepped off the court, you like got sick.
yeah, because I think I was sick, but the adrenaline kept me going.
Yeah, yeah. You were definitely
So,
getting like you were like, I think I've been sick, but then we were like, we were just like, no, you're good, you're fine. And I was just like, hopefully he keeps believing that. And then you literally step off the court, and then it's like your body knows you're done, and then
yeah.
your guard's down, and you just get sick. So
But then, like, I don't know, like, you want to work towards something. You just, as long as your body's just gonna go through it. Like, yeah,
yeah,
probably things you should do to stay healthy and stuff, but like, I don't know. Sometimes you can't help it. Like, you're just working so hard towards that one goal. And
yeah.
I was like, listening to, it's called the Tennis IQ podcast.
Oh,
And
cool. Have you sent that to me yet?
yeah, I think I've seen several episodes, but
Damn,
it's
I haven't
called
looked at any of them. I gotta look at them.
The Paradox of Ego was the episode I was listening to. And they're saying, here, let me pull it up here.
What
There's
who does that podcast?
it's run by these guys, Brian and Josh. I can't remember their last name. It just says Brian and Josh discuss the concept known as the paradox of the ego. So basically, like they got it for some book, but anyway, uh I'm gonna read this. It says basically the main point of what I took from the episode was winning is not nearly as important as learning. And so like yeah, you want to win, and then but if all you're concerned about is winning, which I was kind of like a lot, especially going to this tournament in the beginning, then you're not gonna get any better because like if you want to improve, you gotta work on like improving your skills and your matches and I mean just kind of like anything really. You of course we want to win, but how are you going to improve your tennis game, your lifestyle, your work
Hmm.
environment, stuff like that? So I like listened to that after, and I was like, yeah, I did pretty good. Like I went 2-3. That's kind of my goal is go like 2-3, 3-2 is really good. Like it's hard when you win no matches or one match, and then like you want to win five, but that it's not impossible, but it seems
You're
impossible.
you're probably like it's like you peak at the right time. Like you're probably playing
Right.
like out of your mind, or
Exactly.
just like the one point go your way. So,
Exactly. And
well, like the
some
girl you
people,
played, she went undefeated, didn't she?
yeah, yeah. Lily went
Yeah.
undefeated. This guy Nathan went undefeated.
But once you go undefeated, they just bump you up to the next one.
Yeah.
So it's like
So,
you're gonna next year you'll be playing harder people, and usually
right.
people that get bumped don't go undefeated the next year. So that's the cool thing about this tournament is like you are, yeah, like you said, you're learning every year. You're able to really see how you improve. And dude, I love going to that tournament. I haven't been there since like 3 or 5 years, something like
Yeah.
that. So I'm definitely every year like, all right, how can I afford a plane ticket out there? Because if I'm not coaching you, then you don't get that covered. And it's fun when it'd be cool if like one year our whole family could go. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, um, we, we worked, a lot of us, we worked so hard for this one goal.
Yeah.
Like I said in the last episode, like, there's only really, so there's one, two, three, six this year because there was only did 3B. There's only like really, is it right? Six winners. So 1A.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So
A,
there's
B,
only,
C times two. Yeah. Six
yeah.
winners.
So there's only three, but then if you put Division 4 in, there's eight. So there's really only eight people that get first, and out of the whole 32. But that's like what's cool about a tournament. It's like, you know, you just work so hard for that one moment. And then like also on that tennis podcast, the IQ one, they were talking about like Lombardi and like how it was like how he was talking about like how the will to win is the only thing. So like winning isn't everything, but everyone wants like has the will to like actually try to win. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, if you don't win, it sucks. Some suck more than others. Sometimes you don't win in life, which I experienced, can be like life threatening. So you have to win. You have to win or you die. But
Yeah. Kind of important game to win right there.
yeah. So but like a lot of times it's like, all right, I failed. What am I gonna do to get better? Do I need to take another route? I don't know. Like you just figure it out.
What
And
was the time? Okay, what was the time in life where you're like, I have to win? Like you have to get healthy, you have to make it through this. Because like I do believe that because I do believe like you never really had like a close call, like where it was like, oh, like you might live or die, except for when you were born, but that's a little different. Uh, but I'm like, well, it's like he always won game 6. He never took it to game 7. Like you always like had the will to like get better and but you never like got to that point, it made sure you never got to that point where it's like, oh man, like it's life or death at this moment. But
yeah.
where do you think a time besides your back surgery, because you can't use that one.
Damn
Besides the, besides that one, where do you think a time in your life was where you're like, man, I have to like believe I can get better, do things I need to do to get better, and then yeah,
Probably
just like
like
have the will to get better because otherwise it's gonna not turn out very good.
probably like um when I had like the swallowing issues and
Oh
like
yeah.
my stomach started to close up and I really couldn't eat much and I was having
Yeah,
these
and you're like
strokes all the
really,
time. And then it
yeah.
was like stressful. And this is like in 2018 and
Mhm.
continued on like 2020. So it's like 2 years. And he's like, I have to figure this out. And I have to like, but I got to the point where I was like, like, I don't care like about what people want from me. Like if I need to pick up somebody, I was working in retail at the time.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know if I can pick up your shift. I'm just trying to make my own shift. I'm just worried about today. I'm
Mhm.
not worried about what other people are, concerned about because I'm trying to figure out my problem.
Yeah.
Which like good to an extent, it depends on like this was pretty serious. So it's like you have a right to be selfish if your problem is pretty serious. And so I just like kind of figured it out. Or not really, but like it like just all worked out. Not really figured out, but it all worked out. Like which, I know like I guess I was looking for the answers really. Because like it will close up and it will cause me a lot of problems. And then all of a sudden it won't. like now I'm fine, but probably because I do it so these scopes, which they go in and they stretch my esophagus or they stretch the entry to my stomach. They go through my
Hmm.
esophagus and stretch the entry to my stomach so I can eat food. And I do them every 2 to 3 months. But like I'll be fine for like 3 years or 5 years. Then I'll struggle for like 2.5. And then there's no rhyme or reason why it comes and goes. This one was like my fundo, so it's basically this thing that connects my esophagus to my stomach was too tight and they never loosened it ever. So it'd been like the same length like that ever since we were born. So 5 years, 25 years, something like that. When we were 25. And so, or something like that. And so they had to loosen that. But like, I don't know, like now I'm just like, I know all the facts. I went to the Mayo Clinic a couple years ago. Look, here's what you're going through. Here's the worst possible scenario, which could happen. But right now it's unlikely, but it could happen. You have to watch
Hmm.
out for it. You just never know. And so it's just kind of like that. Like, yeah, I wouldn't say this is a point where I'd be like, I figured it out. It's more like I learned to deal with it. But I had to like get better. I had to like, in some ways, figure out it out by like learning to live with it. So now it's
Yeah.
part of my everyday. Or before, like the first year or two I went through it, it was like it wasn't normal for me to go through it. I didn't know how to like live with it. So now I learned to live with it. It is what it is. It's always fun to tell people. 'Cause some people look like real sad, but
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, it's no big deal. Which it is a big deal, but you don't want to like play the pity party either. Like,
Yeah. Fuck that.
yeah, so it just kind of is what it is. I'm able to play in the tennis tournament, play, we played in tennis tournaments together and do all that stuff. And whenever my fundo thing fails, it will fail. Maybe it won't. I'm not the most healthiest person, but I do eat healthy, thanks to mom. And
Yeah. Thanks
because
a lot
like
to
some
mom.
people, yeah,
Get you
because
on
some
those ginger
people,
shots, man.
well, some people like I heard about this one case. This this dude drank pop all the time and he
Yeah.
destroyed his esophagus.
Yeah.
So,
It's like pop. Yeah. Pops. Yeah. Let's not get into that because I'll rabbit hole.
but
Question. Where during 2018 and 2020, what was like your faith at? Like, did you like pray a lot? Did you just like kind of know like, hey, like whatever, if God wants to take me, he'll take me when he wants me, or like he'll figure it out, or what was that situation like for you?
yeah, I mean like I prayed and stuff, and I just knew everything I'd been through. Like I would be fine eventually. Like we all would, obviously, because part of that was during COVID. And I
Hmm.
was like, this can't last forever, whether
Yeah.
it's like COVID or my esophagus thing going on and it's like, what's the saying? Oh, is it like tough times don't last forever, but tough people do. So it's
Yeah.
just I would just say that all the time or think about it. And like I don't know, you just like I just would go in this mode of like survival and like because I've done it before, which for me is like going through a medical thing. I guess COVID was on top of that. Like I was at home for a year. Like didn't leave the house for a year, but um yeah, it was like you just gotta survive. Whether you're really sick in the hospital, you're like me at home, going through going through a pandemic like everyone else, but also this medical thing on top of it. You you can't look like 5 days in advance. You got to look at like what tomorrow brings, and
Yeah.
I
Or
did.
what today is
Yeah, what
bringing.
today is gonna bring when you wake up, and it's like back to like the tennis thing. It's like Dad always tells you like 1 point at a time. So it's basically what you have to do in like everyday situations.
Yeah.
1 point.
Yeah. Get when you talk about like tough tough times don't last, but tough people do. I think of like the saying too, like I'm gonna get this wrong. It's like a song about it too, but it's like if it's hard or if it's not going well, then it's not the end of God's plan. Like God has a plan for you. And let's say maybe it was tough and then, somebody died from cancer or something like that. But it's like if you believe in God and go to heaven, like that's the good ending because in heaven you get like a new body. Uh, you get, there's no pain, there's no anxiety, depression, worry. It's like that's all gone. So it's like you might as well, like you always talk about it, live like you're not sure what's gonna happen tomorrow. And then like if there is no tomorrow, like hey, you're going up to heaven, you get a new body, and you don't have to deal with this crap anymore. So
Yeah, I mean,
um
I think like the way I would die scares me, but like not actually dying would scare me. Like, okay, I'm gonna die. The question is like how though?
yeah, I know, like it's like
Okay.
let's just make this quick because
Yeah, can
yeah,
you
like
just like do this like a headshot kind of thing? Like, I don't really want to bleed out here.
yeah, exactly. Or like
Um,
you're just super sick. Like, nobody wants that, but sometimes it's like God puts people through that so that way sometimes it gets them closer to God or gets other people like closer to him too. So it's like, well, why is he doing this? And everybody thinks it's gotta be sunshine and rainbows, but it's like the times when it's the worst is the times when you like we can only do so much and where we end like God begins. And sometimes God will take you to that end where you end and you can't do anything else really. You have no other choice but to trust in him. And I see that a lot in my own like life and certain things and
yeah,
try to control too much. And but yeah, kind of back to what you were saying. Makes sense how like you're able to dig so well in tennis tournaments because like you've had to dig from like 24-hour days. It's like just digging for like 24 seconds from a 24-second tennis point. That's a long ass point. So it's
yeah.
like easy, piece of cake. I can
I
do this
like
in
I should make a
30
shirt.
seconds.
I should make a shirt that just says start digging.
Yeah.
I don't know what it'd be of, a shovel, maybe a tennis ball. I don't know. But it'd be kind of fun because like that's kind of my thing. I'm like I got to the point where like I'd play in the summertime. I'd be just like I can go to like a tiebreaker. I'm gonna lose a set probably, but I'll win the tiebreaker. So, but I was also like uh I would play some guys that I knew I had more stamina than, and then it's hard when the guys don't have the same stamina as you or better. It's like damn. So, but yeah, so it's all
Yeah,
about
last thing before we end it, I think that's a good spot is we're going to a Yankees game.
yeah.
I'm freaking pumped.
Me too.
So I bought my dad, he turned 70 last year. Me and Wyatt turned 30 this March, but Wyatt's going to be in Italy at the Special Olympic World Games.
Yeah,
But
Winter
in
World Games.
August, what?
Yeah, Winter World Games.
Winter World Games, yeah.
Yep.
And so I owe you a Yankees game anyway because we had this bet that we'll get into some other time. But we made like a bet. It's basically like accountability bet, and I lost. And why I got to pick the game and where. And he picked the Yankees game, Yankee Stadium. And yeah, dude, how pumped are you? I'm not even a Yankees
Well,
fan, but I've been rocking this hat because it looks good when I coach. Just
yeah.
like looks professional.
Yankees have like some of the best hats,
They
if
do,
not
yeah,
the best. Like, yeah, dude, like I'm super pumped. Like I have several books on tape, on audio, and like books, just regular books on Yankee stuff. So I was like,
yeah.
start like just re-listening them and rereading them, getting pumped because the
Dude,
game.
I almost bought us 3 books. I almost bought us one on Derek Jeter, I think Yogi, and then Mickey Mantle.
Yeah, I think I have the Derek Jeter one on audio.
Okay,
But yeah, so yeah, I'm super pumped. It'll be fun.
I
And
know.
never been.
You-
I've always wanted to be to New York. Dad
I
always
know,
says.
yeah, it'd be cool.
Dad always says it's nothing special, but it's like, yeah, but you've been there. You've been there.
Yeah, and he was there all the time. He used to be there more often than the normal person. So
Yeah, and like our age, like we're gonna be 30. We're 29 right now, but like pretty young still, and it's like we want to see other states and do stuff. So I
yeah,
think Dad will. It'd be fun because Dad has been there before, so he could tell us about some stuff, and
yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah, I
so
got us a hotel like 10 minutes from the stadium, so we can like walk there. It's gonna be sick.
nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. All
But
right. Well, that's a good place to end it. We're gonna be doing Wyatt's probably gonna be doing more by himself, but we're gonna try to get back to doing these once a week. We're just gonna talk about whatever. So thanks for listening this long. If you stay with us this long, subscribe, like it, share it, leave a comment, let us know what you want us to hear us talk about, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.